Hey everyone, I wanted to talk to you today about acoustic treatment again. If you've seen the last video I did in this series, I talked about a little trick that you could use to get a little bit better isolation between your first tom and your snare drum, just using a simple piece of acoustic foam. Today I wanted to talk about acoustic treatment on a little bit of a bigger scale than that. So isolating, say, a whole instrument, be it voice or the drums. So today, I wanted to kind of point out what I have behind me in all these videos that I make. These are two standing pieces of acoustic treatment. They're 2 foot by 4 foot. And actually putting acoustic treatment behind the drums is the best way really to tighten up the sound. As you can see, I'm actually pretty close to the wall here, but you probably in most cases wouldn't want to just surround the drums in acoustic treatment. In the room that I record in, I don't have much acoustic treatment on the other side. I'll show a little clip of it. But I usually set up a room mic, and so I want to have as much of the high end, the cymbals. I want that to be able to grow. But if you have, especially behind the drums, if you have too much slapback, then it can really kind of muddy things up a lot, especially with the mids, I find. So just having just this, these two pieces, they're 2 foot by 4 foot, right? So there's 2 of them. So I'm basically getting effectively 4 feet by 4 feet total behind me. And this really tightens things up. Now, usually when I record, I put a couple of bass traps in the corner too, just to tighten up the low end a little bit as well. But just having these guys, they do a great job. They are portable, right? So you don't have to worry about, if you're in a room where you can't damage the walls, or your significant other doesn't want you touching the walls, having anything permanent, then you can move them around however you need. They're actually mounted on a mic stand. And the footprint that they take up is actually very small, so I can get in and out from behind my drums fairly easily. I'm not too big of a guy, but even with my cymbals kind of wrapping way around, I still can get in and out of here. So since they're so portable, you really can use them for anything you need. Obviously, as I've been talking about, I use them behind the drums whenever I record. But when I have vocalists come into the studio, I use them for them as well. I pull them out from behind the drums. I set the 2 of them up right next to each other, and I stick the mic right in front of that. Sometimes I have some homemade acoustic treatment I might put behind the singer too. But these 2 are the bulk of the isolation that I use. It helps prevent any room echo from going on. I want to apply the echo in post, right? So I need to isolate them from the room a little bit. I use these in post-production work as well. I do all the recording down here in the main room for the studio, but I have a separate room upstairs where I do all the mix down. I'll bring these 2 guys up and I'll set them at the back of the room behind me so that when I'm, blasting the speakers, I'm not getting reflections coming back from the rear wall. The one downside to using these Auralex ProMAX units is that because they are mounted up on these mic stands, the bottom, I don't know if this is 2 feet about, the bottom 2 feet have no acoustic treatment, of course. So if you wanted to do some sound absorption for a guitar cab or bass cab, it wouldn't work out too well for that. That said, they do slip onto these mic stands, so you could slip them on and off. But in my case, I've actually made a couple of homemade kind of baffles that I use for those purposes. But the bulk of the use for my portable acoustic treatment does come from these. So now that I've told you what I like for acoustic treatment, I want to hear about what you like. Do you like using portable stuff? Do you have your walls completely covered in foam? Do you go very sparse? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.